Have we got any of those grooming gangs in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening?
Young white girls have been routinely called promiscuous trash. That was a window into the soul of your party when it comes to this kind of very, very serious crime, and somebody really needs to get a grip on this massive stain upon our once great nation.
Sadiq Khan is trembling right now. After he tried to ignore the presence of grooming cases in London, the Met Police just announced they're reopening 9,000 grooming cases. So we might finally learn a bit more about how politicians were complicit in covering it up. So in this video, you're going to see Peter Bleksley exposing the Labour Party's failures over this issue, also what it shows us about our political establishment. But first, I want you to see just how far Sadiq Khan went to trying to cover up and ignore this issue in London. Let's take a watch.
So are you saying we haven't got the same sort of gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford and lots of other places in the country?
Just for you, what's a misunderstanding? What does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for sex. Do we actually have those in London?
Today we need to give a full answer. Can she be clear what she means by that? I'm not clear what she means.
This is the Mayor of London. She's given him other cities to compare to. She's talked about the girls. She's talked about the nature of the grooming. She's been very, very clear.
I'm not sure why she's so nervous to say what she means. What do you mean?
No. I am saying exactly what I mean. I'm saying, have we got any of those grooming gangs in London?
I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening?
If he could very easily say no, he would have. He couldn't say no. But the fact that he's dancing around it shows that he knows something that he's not telling us about. And that's actually what he's going to be really, really, really scared about. Now that the Met Police has announced they're going to reopen 9,000 cases to look at, here we're going to see Peter Bleksley really taking this former Labour advisor to task about his party's failure to deal with this issue over the past few decades.
The way that Sadiq Khan was handling that questioning was what he was trying to do was to get Susan Hall to make an allegation against a particular demographic. And because actually we don't know the demographics involved in who was orchestrating anything in London at the moment.
I'll hazard a guess.
But smart of her to avoid the topic so that Sadiq Khan's immediate response isn't only, you're a racist.
Lisa?
Yeah, I'll hazard a guess at the demographic of that, and I suspect that many of it in London will be reflected, as it has been elsewhere in the UK, men of Pakistani origin.
Yep.
The trouble is, young white girls have been routinely called promiscuous trash and the such like, when they had been exploited, repeatedly raped, drugged, and fed alcohol and the such like. It is an absolute disgrace, and what is even worse is that to a certain extent they are still being treated appallingly, because this stumbling inquiry which your party resisted forever and ever and ever, and included Lucy Powell accusing Tom Montgomery of a dog whistle, that was a window into the soul of your party when it comes to this kind of very, very serious crime, and somebody really needs to get a grip on this massive stain upon our once great nation.
But we are getting now the inquiry, aren't we? And that has to work. I mean, that's the most important.
It's falling apart this
well,
it's falling apart.
You can't treat all the victims the same. They've got differing views, and 5 of them have come forward and said they'll only take part if the minister's involved, and others have said they won't take part if the minister's involved.
So this Labour advisor, or former Labour advisor, is essentially trying to say that to get a review into this is so difficult. We need to be understanding that after all these decades, we've not had it yet.
Victims, that's part of the problem.
We have
I mean, there's misleading headlines going around, some of them saying that The Guardian put out, I think, a misleading headline, which would suggest that they were all grooming gang victims. Well, we know
No, sure. And that wouldn't be, I mean, The Guardian getting it wrong would not be the first time, would it? But the point is, surely, for the victims to get the justice they demand and some kind of resolution, you've got to get this inquiry up and off the ground. And it's hard. You know, it is difficult. No government's managed it yet. This one's trying.
No government's wanted to do it yet. That's the fact.
Well, no, hang on.
Finding the right chair, finding the right ways to give people a platform and a voice, and getting the justice they demand, and then ultimately banging up the perpetrators and putting them in prison. This is hard, but the government is trying to do it.
Don't forget, after a mosque was attacked a couple of weeks ago, they managed to find £10 million within a matter of weeks. And we should wait for this inquiry for this long.
So in a previous life, I was obviously a special advisor. We had the Waterhouse inquiry resurrect itself in around 2012, 2013. We got the McCurr review up and running and funded across 3 government departments in 72 hours.
Wow, there you go.
So
where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
I think the most angering thing about this whole situation is the fact that she's right. Susan Hall, when she was pressing Sadiq Khan on this issue, was trying to avoid talking about Pakistani men or Muslim grooming gangs because she knew that Sadiq Khan was going to turn it around and weaponize that against her. The sad thing is that people actually stop saying the truth because they're scared of being labeled as racist. That's actually the sad thing. Like, we've now come to a point where our political and media class are so scared, they're so sensitive about their egos that even when something is clear as day, and when there's an issue, when there's such an evil injustice to deal with, you can silence them, not even with like threatening violence or like blackmail or like, you know, kidnap. You can threaten them and silence them with the label racist. And it's like, if what you're saying is true and protecting vulnerable people, who the heck cares what they call you? We don't have that kind of establishment. We don't have that kind of political class. We don't have that kind of mainstream media class. And that's why we need to keep on pressing them and letting them know, when you turn a blind eye to evil, we will come at you. We will call it out. You will lose your seats. You will lose, like, you're done round here. And that's why I continue to sound the alarm, and why I want to make sure that even in my own life, my own personal life, I'm living by integrity. That I don't care about what people call me Uncle Tom for this channel or whatever. I don't care. What I care about is saving this great nation and stopping it from being bullied into submission and allowing this evil to spread. I've got kids. I know people who've been affected by this stuff because many people were silenced all because of labels. Let's not be people like that. Jesus didn't care about who called him what. He came, he had a mission. His mission was to die for the sins of those who would follow him. And he didn't care about what people would say. He gave up his life for the truth so that us who believe in him can be saved. Let us be people of courage and integrity that are willing to stand whatever the cost. Now, if you want to support this channel, check out the links in the description. If you want to join our private Discord community, you can check that out there as well. It's for free. If you want to see another video, check this one out. I'll see you there. Peace and blessings.